When I started selling on Amazon back in 2019, I quickly realized that product research was not as easy as I thought. As it turns out, it ended up taking the most time than any other part of the process for me. I would find a product that I thought had potential and do this crazy deep dive into all the analytics until something would pop up that would make me think it wasn't gonna work and I'd be wasting my money. Then I did that same process over and over and over again until I had combed through so many products that I had spent over 2 months doing product research and wasn't confident launching a product. If I look back when I first started, I can see that it wasn't so much about the process being difficult, but more about not knowing any specific rules or guidelines to follow to help narrow down my search. That's why for over the past year, I've teamed up with AMZ Scout to deliver comprehensive videos just like this one here, giving you helpful tips to elevate your Amazon business. In today's video, we're covering 7 crucial rules for your product research that is going to eliminate the guesswork and give you the confidence to invest in something that's profitable. The first rule is one of the most important and honestly one of the most undervalued in my opinion, and that's that you have to be passionate about what you're selling. All too commonly, I see folks being excited to start this process and ready to start making money that they are momentarily motivated and disciplined. It isn't until they reach their first few hurdles they may lose momentum before they start questioning the entire process and nitpicking their product for all of its flaws. Rather, I encourage you to explore the search results of AMZ Scout and the Amazon platform itself so you can really see what hobbies align with what you could potentially sell. Luckily for us Amazon sellers, the platform is massive and consumer habits are only moving more towards that online purchase method. My second rule for product research is called niche expansion. This is your opportunity to see how you can build your brand in the future with multiple products and upsell them to customers when they check out with their original purchase. There are 2 ways to do this and they both can be done right on the Amazon platform. Once you've found a product you have a level of interest in, the first method is as easy as scrolling slightly down until you see the customers also viewed section and the Amazon choice section. From here, you can see that brands are selling similar products to the initial one you're researching, but also completely different products that may be in a similar niche that Amazon has deemed as in demand. My third rule is all about supplier outreach and what your expectations should be. This is coming from someone who has actually had to go through trade insurance claim with an old Alibaba supplier who sold me broken merchandise. Trust me, the last thing you want to do is deal with a subpar supplier just because they have a cheaper price. There are a few parts to this rule, and the first is making a contract with your supplier outlining all the important details of your transaction. You want to have all these important details in writing. The next portion of this rule is to make sure you choose a supplier who offers trade assurance. This just makes it so if the supplier does not meet the standards you outlined in your contract, that you can be refunded your money. Again, this is coming from someone who had to use trade assurance to get my money back on an order through a bad supplier, and it's really just a good way to protect your investment. The last and final portion of this rule is always order a sample from a new supplier before moving forward with your entire order. Now, you don't need to do this every time you place an order, but really just the first time at placing an order with a new supplier, you always want to ensure the product and packaging is up to your standards. My fourth rule, and honestly one of the most important, is always make sure you calculate your profit margins before committing to an order. AMZ Scout makes this super easy with their profit calculator extension that you use directly on the Amazon platform. Once you've landed on a product you want to dig a little deeper, simply open the extension and you'll input a few metrics for the AMZ profit calculator to automatically generate a bunch of relative figures. Remember, at this point, you already have the foundation for finding a reputable supplier, so now you just need to input the figures that supplier had sent you. Looking at our product calculator, the first figure is product price. This is just referring to what the product is being sold for on the Amazon platform. Up next is the product cost. This is just what your supplier will be charging you for an individual unit. Below that is the shipping cost. Again, you'll get this figure from your supplier and it's just what the shipping would cost for an individual unit. Of course, your supplier won't be sending you just one unit at a time, so you simply take the shipping cost for the entire order divided by the total number of units and you'll have the individual shipping cost. Below your shipping figure is the CPC, or cost per click. This is a figure that I regularly see folks leave out or don't incorporate enough budget for. And it's really important in this day and age that you have some type of budget you can put towards PPC, because the fact of the matter is you're not going to generate any sales if you aren't advertising at all. For this figure, I normally like to put between $2 and $4 depending on the bid rate associated to the keywords. The last and final metric you'll need to input is the estimated monthly sales. One of the fastest and easiest ways to find this is through AMZ Scout's web extension. Once you open the web extension, you'll see a bunch of important figures at the top that will break down all the important data about the product. On the left-hand side, you'll see the average monthly sales number. Once you plug in that last number to the AMZ Scout profit calculator, it will automatically generate all of your profit margins. You can see here it shows your total FBA fees for having Amazon pick, package, and ship your product, your dollar amount of profit per unit, and the net margin, and lastly, my favorite figure, which is the dollar amount of your estimated monthly profit. Before we get into the last set of rules, I just want to take a moment to say if you're finding value to this video, make sure to smash that like button, as all it does is help us create more videos like this that can really help you through the entire process. The fifth rule is to know your level of competition. There are a few ways to do this, but one of the most effective and accurate tools you can use is the product database on AMZ Scout's platform. Once you log into your account and click on the product database, it gives you all these different filters that you can change that will narrow down your search. For establishing a low level of competition, I like to use the number of sellers figure. Like the name implies, this filter will only show you the listing with the minimum and maximum numbers you input. A good rule of thumb is to put 5 for a minimum and 20 for a maximum. My sixth rule is one I don't see people regularly talk about, and that's know your best price. What I mean by that is you want to leverage your Amazon fulfillment service while still hitting your profit margins. I see a lot of folks who will try and go after extremely cheap products that are under $20, but quickly find out that after paying their different Amazon fees, their profit margins are smaller than they think, and the actual dollar amount they are seeing is even smaller. This isn't saying those lower priced items don't give you the opportunity to be successful, but what it really comes down to is the amount of capital you have in order to play the volume game of selling that many units. In my experience, especially for beginners, you want to reduce your exposure to risk on the Amazon platform. This can be from large order sizes, even to large payouts from your sales. A good rule of thumb is to stick between the $30 and $100 price range and make sure your product weighs anywhere from 1 to 5 pounds. This will allow you to leverage the Amazon fulfillment service and still see a good dollar amount on each transaction. My last and final rule, and honestly a rule that I think is most important for new sellers, is to stay away from seasonal items. Of course, there is money to be made on seasonal items, but there is a fine line of knowing how much inventory to order so you aren't stuck with loads of product that didn't sell because the season finished. My advice is to use a tool that allows you to see the sales volume over the course of time so you can really see how consistent the sales are. AMZ Scout has this exact history shown right on the Pro extension. Once you've opened up the Pro extension on a listing, simply click on the niche history tab all the way to the right. This will bring up a graph that shows the price on the left-hand side, the month on the bottom, and the number of sales on the right. If you see any major spikes on the graph, you know the sales weren't very consistent from month to month. Now, of course, your product won't have the same amount of sales every single month, but it is good to know that around Q4, things will spike up, so you can kind of take that into consideration when you're looking at these graphs, determining how much sales volume there is. Now, of course, your product won't have the same amount of sales every single month. There will be some volatility, especially when we move into Q4 and the holidays are close by. Even though it's not a rule, it's important to note that when it does come to Q4 on Amazon, the PPC bid rates on your keywords will increase, as well as the storage fees to the associated products that are at the Amazon fulfillment centers. This is just a good rule of thumb to keep in mind, that you will have to alter your budgets and your profit margins around this time of year. There you have it. Those are my top 7 Amazon rules when doing your product research and ultimately investing your money into something you want to sell. If you're excited and ready to start this entire process, AMZ Scout is offering a free trial on their product research service, so you can get started on this entire process for free and as soon as today. If you're interested in the free trial, there will be a link in the description that will bring you right to the free trial so you can get signed up. Lastly, if you have any questions about the rules that we covered in today's video, make sure to drop a comment down below and we'll get you going in the right direction. As always, if you found value to this video, make sure to smash that like button, and I look forward to seeing you guys in the next one. Peace.